We ready, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Let's go ahead and call this regular meeting of the East Peoria City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker? Hill?
Here.
Mingus?
Here.
Sutherland?
Here.
Mayor Call?
Here.
All present except Commissioner Decker, Your Honor.
And he will be here shortly. Thank you, Madam. Please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the pledge.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and every day you give us. Lord, we pray that you help us develop an optimistic view of life and not belabor the negative. Help us also take an active interest in everything around us, our families, organizations, and our community, and help our community improve. Please give us strength and courage to get through the joys, challenges, and happenings of the day. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the minutes of the regular meeting held on June 18, 2024, and the minutes of the public hearing held on June 16. I've got two dates here. It should be July 16, 2024, and the minutes of the public hearing held on July 16, 2024 be approved.
Yep, you said, yep, very good. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Sutherland. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. This evening, I do have one proclamation, one of my favorites every year. Carol, do you mind stepping up here, and I'll read this proclamation. I'll present it to you, and then we'll look forward to your comments. Whereas 1 out of 4 women will be abused or assaulted in her lifetime, 1 out of 13 seniors will be abused, neglected, or exploited in his or her lifetime, 1 out of 3 girls and 1 out of 5 boys will be abused before their 18th birthday, 1 out of 3 students will witness or experience bullying. And whereas the Center for Prevention of Abuse has served residents of East Peoria since 1976, providing safety and support to victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and elder abuse. And whereas the center has provided prevention education to East Peoria students of all ages since 1984, focusing on body safety, conflict resolution, anti-bullying, and building healthy relationships. And whereas the annual duck race is a major fundraiser for the Center for Prevention of Abuse and is celebrating its 36th anniversary on August 24th, 2024. We are grateful that we can once again excite at watching the ducks race to the bottom of the hill for such a worthy cause. And now, therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, do hereby proclaim August 2024 as Duck Race Month in East Peoria, Illinois, and invite all residents to buy a duck and support the 36th annual duck race in order to maintain the needed services and programming of the Center for Prevention of Abuse. And Carol, I'd like to present this to you and then welcome you to make comments.
Evening, Mayor, Commissioners. On behalf of the Center for Prevention of Abuse, once again, I'm glad to be with you. Seems like I was just here a couple months ago, but here we are a year later saying that this is our 36th year for our signature fundraiser, the Duck Race, but it's our 9th year at East Side Center in East Peoria. I wanted to bring some numbers with me to give you some context about how you're supporting us with your time and your talent. The success our agency has in big part is due to the strong commitment and partnerships and friendships that we have with the City of East Peoria and others. It's important, it's meaningful, and it lifts us up every year. So in the 9 years, not the 50 years we've been in existence, but the 9 years we've partnered on this important adventure, CFPA has served nearly 55,000 people, helping them find hope and healing. That number does not count the more than 350,000 young people we've reached each year, or not each year, but combined, with lessons on prevention education, or the thousands of people we've educated and trained on issues like elder abuse, domestic violence, and human trafficking, including your very own fire department. The City of East Peoria is foundational to the work that we do, helping all people live free from violence and abuse, and we certainly couldn't be more grateful for your friendship. So we hope to see all of you on August 24th at Eastside Center, where we can watch all 35,000 ducks slide down that water slide. So thank you very much for this honor. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you and your staff for all the important work you do. And Carol knows, you know, when we go up to that duck race and we make our opening remarks, you know, I always touch on the fact with nonprofits, there aren't a lot of nonprofits that operate the way they do. I mean, these funds stay locally and they support folks that need their assistance here locally, but more importantly, when you do your homework and you pull up 990s of these nonprofits, you see that many of these nonprofits, the funds are spent on anything but the cause, and you don't get that. And I'll get off my high horse on it, but I so much admire Carol and their staff, and I can't stress enough, you know, this is confidential. These services are free and it's confidential, and I wish more people would take advantage of what's offered there, and I think it'd make the world a better place. But I appreciate the hard work they do, and Carol's actually going to be the guest speaker at the next Mayor's Association meeting. So actually the night that she's supposed to be numbering the ducks, she's going to be with us talking about the important work they do. And that association has always been a big advocate of the Center for Prevention of Abuse, and Carol and her staff. So thank you again. We appreciate everything. And don't feel obligated to stick around for this, the rest of the boring stuff for you. But thank you, Carol. All right, public comments. Anyone wish to address the council on on an agenda item? Please step forward. Agenda item. That'll be at the end of the meeting, ma'am. If it's if it's related to anything on the agenda, we're taking those comments now. Okay. 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 Yep. I will let you. I'll give you the nod when it's the right time. How about that? All right. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one. Very good. Commissioner Hill, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a consent agenda consisting of items numbered 1 through 9. Item number 1, adoption of resolution number 2425-046. Resolution to approve payment of the schedule of bills listed on schedule number 6 in the amount of $4,902,631.54. Item number 2, adoption of ordinance number 4806 on its second reading, an ordinance changing the zoning classification of certain real property located at 4200 East Washington Street in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois. Item number 3, adoption of ordinance number 4807 on its second reading, an ordinance amending sign code provisions for changeable copy digital signs, and the size of the changeable copy digital signs is in specified zoning districts in the city of East Peoria. Item number 4, adoption of resolution number 2425-032 on its second reading. Resolution approving contract with Ameren, Illinois for underground utility lines at new police station project site, Camp Street. Item number 5, adoption of resolution number 2425-031 on its second reading. Resolution approving the payment of the IEPA National Pollution Discharge Elimination System annual fees for wastewater treatment discharge for plant number 1 from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Item number 6, adoption of resolution number 2425-033 on its second reading. Resolution accepting and approving the proposal from Concentric Integration for the Harbor Point Lift Station Controls Upgrade Project. Item number 7, adoption of resolution number 2425-029 on second reading. Resolution authorizing the purchase of a power cot from Stryker Corporation for the fire department's new ambulance. Item number 8, adoption of resolution number 2425-034 on second reading. Resolution accepting and approving the proposal from ATG Ram Industries LLC for East Side Center Field 10 Turf Project. Item number 9, adoption of ordinance number 4805 on second reading, an ordinance transitioning the police department's vehicle impound hearings to the East Peoria Civic Complex and to the hearing officer for the Administrative Ordinance Violation Citation Code Hearing Department, as listed on the agenda for this meeting to be considered by omnibus vote.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that items numbered 1 through 9 listed on the consent agenda be hereby approved and adopted, and the items numbered 2 through 9 having been read once by the title and having laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Any discussion? I'm hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that ordinance number 4797 hereto attach, an ordinance adopting and enacting a new code for the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, providing for the manner of amending such code and providing when such code and this ordinance shall become effective, having been read once by its title and having laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection, be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Well, if you guys recall, what we're referring to here was the staff and legal went through. Our code had not been fully, completely reviewed and updated since 1975. In 94, it was repackaged and republished in Muni Code. And so this review was primarily to go through for consistency and conformity, and it looked at it really wasn't changing the meaning of our code, but it was making things that was consistent, and were republished as you remember on our June 19th meeting. We've laid this on the table for review, and now it is here for our second reading, and it will go effective September 1st.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, move you that ordinance number 4808 hereto attached, an ordinance authorizing and providing for the issuance of not to exceed $20 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2024 of the City of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, for the purpose of constructing and equipping a new police station, prescribing the details of said bonds, providing for the pledge of certain revenues to the payment of principal and interest on said bonds, and the levy of the taxes to pay such principal and interest if the pledge revenues are insufficient to make such payment, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to Robert W. Baird and Company Incorporated, be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Well, as we've talked about in our recent meetings, it should come as no surprise of our desire to build, and this is the next step of, this is actually authorizing the issuance of bonds up to $20 million. And so that's one of the key points here too that was mentioned in that description was its alternate revenue source is the intent of covering these bonds, but they are backed by property tax levy that we again abate at the end of the year, and we fully expect that the alternate revenue source will be fully cover this effort.
Well said. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Okay, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2425-039 hereto attached, a resolution approving contract with AT&T for underground utility lines at undergrounding utility lines at the new police station project site, Camp Street, be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-039 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
You'll remember in recent meetings, I think it was in the second reading or in the omnibus vote there, that we had a similar agreement with Ameren. And so with this one, and I believe our next, next resolution as well, it's about undergrounding of the utilities, Ameren, in this particular case AT&T, and in the next case we'll see it's Comcast. So it's getting the cabling, wiring utilities underground for that project.
Very good.
Oh, I guess I did, oh no, you can have that. The cost is $60,140.93.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2425-043 hereto attached, a resolution approving contract with Comcast for undergrounding utility lines at new police station project site, Camp Street, be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-043 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
As I mentioned in the previous resolution, again, this is undergrounding. It's a little more costly. In this particular case, it's $184,818.17.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Okay, resolution to place copy of proposed 2020 National Electrical Code for the public inspection prior to the city action to approve 2020 edition of the National Electric Code. Whereas in 2014, the city last amended the East Peoria Building Code to include the then most current version of the National Electrical Code, the NEC, being the 2014 edition. And whereas in December 2021, the city approved and updated editions of the various international and national building codes for inclusion in the East Peoria Building Code, excluding the NEC, thereby leaving the 24 edition of the NEC as the version used in the East Peoria Building Code. And whereas the NEC was not updated by the city as part of the overall update process in December 2021 because of cost and availability concerns with the requirements in the 2020 edition of the NEC, the 2020 NEC, that lighting and electrical receptacles have arc fault circuit interrupters AFCI protection. And whereas at this time the prices for AFCI lighting and electrical receptacles have stabilized and AFCI lighting and electrical receptacles are now widely available, and whereas the city now intends to amend the East Peoria Building Code by adopting the 2020 NEC by representing an ordinance effectuating this update to the 2020 NEC at the City Council meeting on September 17th, 2024, and whereas the city further intends that the 2020 NEC update to the East Peoria Building Code will have an effective date of January 1st, 2025, and whereas required under the Illinois Municipal Code at least 30 days prior to the adoption of an ordinance amending the city's building code and adopting a new edition of any building code, the city must, 1, inform the state's Capital Development Board of the proposed amendment, and 2, make the proposed edition of the building code to be adopted by the city available for public inspection and review. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that Section 1, the above recitations are found to be true and correct. Section 2, the city clerk is hereby directed by no later than August 16th to place on file in the office of the city, East Peoria City Clerk, 1 copy of the National Electrical Code 2020 edition for public use, inspection, and examination. And Section 3, the city's building and Inspections Department with assistance from the City Attorney's Office is hereby directed by no later than August 16th to inform the state's Capital Development Board of the proposed updates to the 2020 NEC. Okay. So, Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-042 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
And if you listen to all that, as you recall, we updated, and there were concerns about, and it was largely driven by arc fault circuit interrupters. And when I built my house 20 years ago, they were required in bedrooms, and now in the latest code, they use, or they're more extensively used. And I'm not going to speak like I know what the complete NEC code is, but knowing that we had a concern when we updated those coming out of the, let's say, out of the pandemic, the availability and the pricing, and those issues have been resolved, or at least the product is more readily available. Now, we did present this, and I actually don't have that in front of me. I forgot to write down. We did get this blessed, or the input from somebody from our local electrical trades was asked about us upgrading our code to this level. And the feedback was that, yes, they train their electricians the moment the code comes out, and it's consistent with the training they've already received, and it's also consistent with other municipalities in our area that have adopted the 2020 NEC. So right now, this is to put it out there. We will have it available.
It's available.
I would say it was
It's
on
sitting right there at the front desk
counter.
already. We
Yeah,
made sure it was out there front and center.
so it's on the front counter, so it's already available.
It's just a light read, 1,292 pages. Just a light read, recommended
And
for anyone.
we'll come back after 30 days and look for the council's approval, and it will not go into effect until January 1st of 2025.
Yeah, I basically want to point out here, the resolution in front of us tonight is just approving that we put it out for public inspection. Doesn't mean that we're actually approving the changes. Any discussion?
Sure. Did you say a minute ago that you had arc fault or did not have arc fault in your house?
I do.
You do.
It was
What about the
required.
people that don't? And they have to get a permit of some sorts to change the electric panel out or something like that. Are they going to be grandfathered in without having to have arc fault?
And it's interesting you asked that question, because I was asking Robert that same one, because we've went over these various questions. If the drastic move or drastic change that you said, if they're swapping out their panel, they would be required to upgrade to the arc fault circuit interrupter.
Well, it may not be an upgrade of a panel, but let's say someone wants to put in a whole house generator, that pulls a permit, which means that at that point, are they going to be obligated, because the panel is open at that time? Here's why I ask this. Because a lot of the houses, most of the houses here in town, do not have arc fault, which is, and I'm a good plumber, even though I'm not a plumber. I'm a horrible electrician. But arc fault is kind of like a ground fault interrupter, but it's meant for bedrooms and stuff away from water. So it's built different, it costs different, but the thing that we need to be aware of is that it needs its own neutral wire going to each arc fault. So that means back in the day, for 100 years, you could run a 220 wire up to an upstairs set of bedrooms and split them off and go 120 this way and 120 this way, and they had a common ground wire. Now, if we demand that they're not grandfathered in, then they have to rewire their entire house to put a arc fault in.
Yeah, and I'm not going to
I think we need to just stop and ask some good questions about grandfathering in and stuff and see how we're going to treat this, because my house isn't, because I've had my house rewired, but it's expensive. It's an expensive task to rewire a house. It's the electrical wires is inside the walls and up in the attics, and they're, part of the code is with electricians, you have to staple the wire to the 2x4 where the receptacle is, which means you can't remove it.
within the foot.
It's
Yep.
stuck there forever. I don't know
Yeah, I
why
don't
they've
think-
done that, but it means that you would have to actually pull brand spanking new wire.
I think that's a great question, and I think that's one of, any questions that we have, now that we have plenty of time, we're going to be laying this out for, it's actually probably going to be over 30 days by the looks of it, but I'd say any questions like that we have, we need to compile and get answers to, because I
Okay.
think it's great.
No,
I agree, too.
that's fair, because grandfathering in saves people on fixed incomes and saves people that don't have a lot of money, or just people that can't do it because of the way their house was built. They just can't.
Well, again, I'm not going to speak, so that's a good point. We'll get back on that one specifically, but when I was talking with Robert today, when you say, when you use the whole panel, then that way, if they were changing out their service from going from,
Well, that was maybe a
60
bad
amp.
example on my
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
but
might have been.
Just anything pulling a permit that has to do with the service.
But that was one of the examples. He said, just because you pull a permit does not mean that you would be required to be held to the arc fault circuit interrupters. So again, your exact situation or case probably needs to be specified and reviewed, but just because you're doing a circuit in the panel, are you going to be required to upgrade everything to arc fault circuit interrupters? That's what I got.
That's a great question.
So,
And I would suggest any other questions that we might have, the sooner we get them in, try to get some answers, and then we'll have Ty and his staff share them.
Could we maybe, I'll support putting it on the table for 30 days, but I think those are some good questions. Could we have Robert here at the next approval?
Yeah.
So if there are additional specific questions that might come up, like follow-up questions that we can maybe
Yeah.
get answers.
Absolutely. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2425-041, hereto approving additional time with Tyler Technologies, Inc. for implementation of the human resource management phase of the city's enterprise resource planning system be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-041 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
What we're asking for here, well, I guess is a little more time and a little more budget for implementing the HR. And the next point, most of you are aware that I don't call it a nightmare because when I first become a commissioner, the multiple different payroll and timekeeping systems that we have,
4 of them.
4 of them, is requiring, as they've tried to implement it, to have one system satisfy all the requirements of all the 4. They've ran into the need for some additional time, and the ask here is at the rate of $200 per hour up to 180 hours. And so Tyler is giving 64 hours in. So again, it's due to the complexity of the nature of our time reporting, and this is requiring more time to implement.
Yeah, and I'll just speak to it before I open it up here for other discussion, but, going from 4 to 1, this, not only is it complex, but, with payroll, that is one thing that you absolutely have to have right. So as they're running these things, that's where they're running in these different hiccups getting everything on a single page. But we're hoping to go live with payroll July 1st. We've pushed that back to October 1st. But by approving this tonight, this allows us to get with Tyler and work and make sure that as they run they call them parallels, absolutely zero hiccups. Last thing you want to do is mess with somebody's pay. When you have 200 and some employees, we're not going to do that. We want to get it right, especially with this big investment that we're making in a new system. So with that, I'd open it up for discussion. No, hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2425-045 here to attach, resolution accepting low bid from River City Roofing for the Fire Station number 4 roof replacement project be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-045 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Well, in the spring, when we had one of those storms and some ice, several of our city buildings, and this is maybe the first of several, but this one here is Fire Station House 4, and then there's also, I called it a shed, but it was called
It's not a shed,
Yeah, I
it's like a big barn, that's what it is.
yeah, I think so.
It's a
Correct me, it was a
two-story,
barn,
yeah.
but it looked like a shed on the
Yeah.
aerial.
It's not a she shed, it's a barn.
Suffered damage, and this is covered by insurance.
Yeah.
And so the low bid from River City Roofing was $20,000 for the project, which covers the barn and the firehouse. And so, again, it's much needed. It came as a result of the earlier storm in the spring, and we had 2 other bids. It appears that let's see, one Creeling was another one that it appears to be it was at least $28,000.
Yeah, I'd just like to the Commissioner's point, I believe there are 4 buildings total, but this one is in dire need of replacing. I kind of view it as almost an emergency thing where we can't put it off. The others aren't as bad, where they're compromised to the point we have to replace them right away. So that'll have to be later in this fiscal year if we have the additional funds, but this one's an absolute priority. But I'd open it up for discussion. Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Your Honor, that's it for me tonight.
Well, you had plenty. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Decker.
I have nothing right now, Mayor.
All right. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Sutherland.
Mr. Mayor, I have 2 items tonight. My first item, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2425-036, hereto attached, a resolution accepting and approving the low bid from K-Hoy Pump Service for the well number 12 emergency removal and replacement project be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-036 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Well, I think that was pretty much self-explanatory. We're always having to work on our wells, and this is one of them. And you never know when they're going to go down.
Yeah, the motor went down, 15 years of continuous operation. There were actually 2 bids received. The other one was, this one was for $32,231. The other one was $47,765. So big difference between the 2.
15 years, that's pretty good life on a pump.
Yeah, with the motors, I mean, I'm not an electrician, but I know the starting and stopping is what, shortens their lifespan. So, but this thing is well used. That well was installed in 2009, and it's not had a lick of service done to it in 15 years. So, pretty impressive. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
My last item, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2425-037, hereto attached, a resolution approving Rockwell SCADA software license and support renewal for the water and wastewater departments be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-037 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
And once again, this is self-explanatory. It's a license fee that's an annual thing.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye,
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
that's all I
Motion
have.
carried. Thank you, Commissioner Sutherland. Commissioner Mingus.
3 items tonight, Your Honor. First item, resolution number 2425-038. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2425-038 hereto attached, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 4x4 crew cab work truck from Upstring Chevrolet, Inc. for the Department of Tourism and Special Events be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-038 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. This is the purchase of a new pickup truck for Department of Tourism and Special Events. As I stated, it'd be purchased from Upstring. Total cost of the pickup truck will be $50,603, and that is a state bid price.
Very good. Yeah, it actually came in, Upstream did a little better than the Morrow Ford, which is who we usually go to on state bids, and they have it available. I just want to point out, for anyone who pays attention to the East Side crews, a lot of the equipment they use to get their, and they take care of over 70 of our properties, just so you know. It's not just East Side, but they've got a dump truck, I think, that they just broke in that's from the mid-'90s. But a lot of the trucks and equipment they use, and that's including plowing and maintaining, the green areas and whatnot, the landscape. A lot of the equipment is getting aged, and we're spending a lot of money on repairs, so.
One thing I should have mentioned, Your Honor, is it appears the one that they're using now is a hand-me-down from Public
Yeah.
Works at
Yeah.
one point. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of their equipment has
Yeah.
been
That's-
used prior to being at Eastside.
I was going to mention that I asked Rick once about when we have a plow truck that can be, when we get a new one, is it possible for us to move it to them? So they could have larger bodies than many that they use, but unfortunately, we use them. We use them until we can't use them any longer, which is great. We get value out of them, but they're usually pretty well shot by the time we're done with them, so.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye,
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Second item tonight, Your Honor, resolution number 2425-040. Be resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2425-040 hereto attached, a resolution accepting proposal from Spec Athletic Flooring for the East Side Center Indoor Track Upgrade Project be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2425-040 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Anybody who's been to East Side, time passes, it's been, I feel like a couple years since we redid the floor up there, knows
2
that
years, yeah.
that the floor was redone. This is redoing the track to match the floor. It appears that there's a little bit of a gap from where the track and the floor from the surfacing, and then obviously the color is different. This is going to bring it all in line. That's the original floor that was in there. The mid-'90s, 95, I think, is when East Side maybe was poured, so well overdue. The total cost of the project, $91,900.
Very good, and this is, we actually received 2 bids, and this company we opted to go with. They're the ones that did the floor in itself, and I just want to say, that thing lasted over 10 years before it even showed any wear, that's heavily used. So, yeah, and to the commissioner's point, it's going to level everything out now that we did the gym floor 2 years ago. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
My final item tonight, Your Honor, Resolution 2425-044. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that Resolution Number 2425-044 hereto attached, a resolution to approve contract amendment for additional structural engineering services with Midwest Engineering Associates for new police station project be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this Resolution Number 2425-044 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. If you're following along with the meeting, where the new police station has a handful of things that are being done with it, and this is just a contract amendment with Midwest. The total increase in price was $57,500.
Yeah, and that's just represented, so we opted to do time and material here, just to explain it a little bit. When we first started this project, initially, so they work on the structural side of the engineering, and we had they gave us a projected cost estimate of what those services would cost. We agreed, we came to terms with that, and now the footprint of that space has changed somewhat, and this is basically, we opted to do a time and material thing. That was an agreement between us and Midwest, because it's not to say that it's going to cost this amount, but it's going to be up to that amount based on what's necessary. And we're still working on the design, so the council knows and the public knows. Still working on that design. We got another meeting scheduled tomorrow, so we hope to have everything finalized soon and go out to bid here shortly. And then we'll know for sure this is the square footage and what we're looking at once that design has been finalized. And they'll come back in front of the council and brief the council and share with you where we're at before we move forward. So with that, I'd open it up for any discussion. Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone in the audience wish to address the council, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, just step up here so they can hear you at the microphone if you don't mind.
I've had a carport in my driveway for a year now. No problem with anybody. And then I turned in a complaint about the guy that lives on the corner lot that has a 6-foot privacy fence on a corner lot, plus putting big pine trees in front of the fence. And when I complained about the trees, lo and behold, I had somebody coming with a badge on his hip telling me I got to take my carport down because it's a hazard. I said, can I put it at the side of my house? And he said, no, you can't put it anywhere in your yard. It's a hazard. I drove around, I seen 2 carports that's been up for years up there by me. So why is all of a sudden you're coming after me for my carport? And I've got signatures from everybody on my street that agrees that my carport is no problem and they don't worry about anything about my carport. And if a storm comes along strong enough to take my carport down, there's going to be more than my carport flying around in the wind.
Yes, ma'am.
So why are you coming after me now?
Could I ask what street do you live on, ma'am?
107 East School Court in East Peoria.
Okay.
It's up by Woodrow Wilson School. I drove by there and she's exactly correct.
Mr. Decker, you have delivered papers to
Remember
me for
you,
years.
yes, yes.
So you know me.
I've
been
known you
up there for years.
all my life, yes.
Well, ma'am, I could tell this first. I think anyone up here has heard about your situation, but, you know, Commissioner, you want to?
Yeah, well, it's news to me. But I do have one question. How long is this the newly constructed carport?
No, I said it's been up for a year.
Well, so it's only been up for a year, okay.
Yeah. But it is, on one side is all bushes, so I'm not blocking the neighbor's view. And on the other side, I've got signatures, people that are all along that street there agree that there's no problem with my carport. I put it up, or had it put up, because I work in the mornings, and I don't want to go out there and have to shovel snow and that off my car.
The only
So-
thing I can say is I know for more than over you, we've not allowed carports in the city of East Peoria, but this is news to me. I don't know, have any details of you or your neighbors' situations or details, so
Well, there's just the one guy, and it was right after I turned in the complaint on the trees, which, if you go up there and you interview these people that I talked to on my street, they're gonna tell you that they've had problems with him, with his trees and his privacy fence, and with his kids that he's fostering there. One guy got
I think I've
a two-year-old
I think
off
I've
the
taken a
street at
call
dark.
from one of your neighbors up there. Is
Pardon?
this on, I think I've taken a call from one of your neighbors in regards to that privacy fence and the shrubs
Right.
that they had, yeah, well,
You go up there and talk to them. I'm the only one that will come down and talk to you. I'm not afraid of you. But apparently they are, or they don't want to rock the boat. I don't know which. But they all agree with me that that is dangerous. I've had 2 close calls on it, and my other neighbors have had close calls on it.
you know, not to interrupt you, but I have talked to you many times
Right.
related to that property. That property is a church.
It used to be
It's a
a
converted church,
And
right.
it came, you know, the fence issue, she brought it up originally, and the property owner was required to go through the zoning board, and the zoning board reviewed the privacy fence and then gave them the okay for the privacy fence. Her issue was the sight lines at the corner. So, yeah, I've had many conversations related to that property.
Yeah, I spoke to her quite a few months ago, and I drove up there and I took a look at it. And I have this hunting app on my phone, which shows the property lines and stuff. And it showed, it's not accurate, it's not like within 6 inches, but it's accurate within a couple feet if you stand still long enough. And the property line, he's on his property, but like in most of our houses, like if you go up to the curb, the city still has control and owns probably 15 to 25 feet of your front yard. In this case,
right of way.
right. Well, sometimes we just out and out own it, but yeah. But in this case, the curb is within like 3 feet of the fence, and then he planted trees in between the curb and the fence, and it is hard to see.
I'd
It's
have to
very
ask-
difficult to see.
Ty,
You
the
have to
trees might have
drive out
been,
into the other lane.
Yeah.
were the trees a
Oncoming
result
traffic
of,
to see what's coming.
Are you the one that maybe called me and I
Yes.
talked to you? Yes, ma'am.
I've called and talked to all of you
Okay.
except for
So,
Mr. Decker and Mr. Mays.
so here's how it was left. I know when I looked into it, to Commissioner Hill point, let's talk about the fence first. They did go back in front of ZBA. That doesn't come to the city council. They sought a variance, which was approved unanimously by the ZBA. I think I explained this to you. So the fence itself was approved by them. There was nothing I could do about that, but I agreed with you on the shrubs, and how it was left, the staff was to go up and address the shrubs. I don't care what the homeowner thinks. I don't know who they got approval from. To me, it is an absolute safety concern. And I
Right.
agree with you 100%. The shrubs need to go. And
That's what I told
I don't
him.
know where it's at now. We'll have to have a conversation after the meeting, or I'll have to look into it and get back to you on that. I can't answer.
Well, I asked this guy, I said, my carport is more dangerous than that corner lot down there? No, his is 24/7. Mine's if a big strong wind comes along. And like I say, there will be other things blowing around in the air beside my carport if it happens.
Okay.
But
Is
I've
your-
got 4 poles
her
on
name
each side with
Eleanor?
screws into the cement to hold that carport down. We've had high winds this last year. It's still setting.
Okay.
Never been budged.
Well, you know how I feel about if
Well,
you own it,
we
you
have
control
your,
it. so.
yeah.
They've been-
We have your contact information, so someone will get in touch with you tomorrow.
You
Okay?
want my list? Them do the people?
I don't need your list, ma'am. I trust what you're telling me.
I've got
I
your
don't-
number.
Yeah.
It's on,
So-
it's on my phone.
All right. Well, we appreciate your comments.
Okay,
We'll
well,
get in
I
touch
have
with
2 weeks to get my carport down, and I don't intend to take it down.
Okay.
because I need it for this winter.
All right.
I'm 84 years old, and I got to get out there and shovel snow when he's got a privacy fence that's more dangerous than my carport. No.
Well, there's trampolines, there's
Right.
tents,
There's
all
two
sorts of
trampolines
things.
right there,
So,
and they'll
yeah,
blow.
I congratulate you. Go for it.
All right.
Yeah, I am PO'd, and I don't think it's right.
All right. Well, thank you for your comments,
And
and
a couple days after I turned him over on the streets, that I had the guy come tell me.
yeah.
So I know that he'd be the one, because I talked to all my neighbors, and they all agree that there's no problem.
All right. Well, thank you, ma'am. We'll get in touch with you tomorrow.
I'll be
All right.
there.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Anyone else wish to address the council on a non-agenda item? I'm seeing no one. Very good. Comments from the council. Commissioner Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, last meeting, I was not able to attend, but I wanted to say how impressed I was with the work of everyone during the storm and after. It was one of those events that, came up, and severe destruction throughout the community. And our public works employees were the first ones that I came across. Man, just doing a great job. I mean, everybody was busy. Police were busy. Fire was busy. And just nice to see everybody come to work together, and almost like they're going through it together type of thing. Even some of our own city employees had their homes damaged. And I just really, I'm always impressed with the big events that our public services come together for. So, I mean, always happy with our snow plowing, and it's commended by other communities, and I just think that we do an excellent job when really called on. Next and last, the Traveling Vietnam Wall is going to be in town. Looking forward to it. We have a meeting tomorrow to talk about it, but it will be arriving in town right out there September 25th. And I think the arrival is 10 a.m. But then on the 26th, we will have an opening ceremony. I have more details about that as we get closer. And then that following Sunday around noon will be the closing ceremony. It'll be very similar to what it was last time. It was a good event last time, so I think that we'll just try to see if we can get it as successful as that one was. But if anybody is wanting to volunteer, to donate, please get a hold of me. The Community Foundation, East Peoria Community Foundation, is helping us in they're our vehicle for finances. So when someone sends money, they are able to take it for us and hold it, and then therefore at the end of it, we can pay the expenses with it, and then have the donation to give to the honor flight. So looking forward to everybody coming out. We'll be ramping up quite a bit here soon, trying to get on the radio before long and collect as many donations as we can. But last time we had it, it was, I'd say, in the middle of, but we had just gone through the summer of COVID. Everybody was cooped up inside, and it was like God planned the weather for us to be perfect that week, because it was absolutely perfect. So we're hoping for just as great a week this time, and just looking forward to a great event. That's it, Mayor. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hill.
Only a couple items. The July Paul Peterson Bright Spot Awards. Award winners. I've got their names. Let's see. I was Business, Lincoln School at 801 Springfield Road area. Drake and Roxanne Heinhorst at 528 Cottonwood Circle. Illini Drive area, Susan and Timothy Collar at 124 Oakmore. Sunnyland Robine Washington Road area, Eric Husser at 401 Woodrow Drive. Meadow Avenue area, Faye Heppy at 106 Julian. So the nominations for the August Bright Spot Awards needs to be submitted by this Saturday, August 10th. And at least one photo. So the rules are out there on the city website if you need to go out and find out the details on the Bright Spot Award nominations. So with that being said, the only other thing is the farmers market. Our honey vendor, if you're interested in honey, this is your last chance. Their last week, even though we've got 3 more weeks after this Friday. Their last week is this week, so they're a local, let's see, coming out of Washburn. So they might not be in your neighborhood.
Nope, not local honey.
Not local enough for Commissioner
Not local enough for
Sutherland.
local honey.
But if you got allergies that you want help with and you're from Washburn, then you're in luck. If you just want honey, then we've got the honey. So come on out, 4 to 7 on Friday.
Very good, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sutherland.
I want to talk about Springfield Road work. It's coming along well. 20 miles an hour means 20 miles an hour. It doesn't matter if the barricades are up or out or in, or it doesn't matter, folks, because tractors are pulling out without barricades and workers are walking around without barricades. I traveled on there today, and I was going 20 miles an hour, just looking things over, and there was a lot of rude people on that road. Lots. I mean, this, and I don't mean to put Chief Zimmerman on the spot, sir, but I have a question about burn permits. Can we get a burn permit because the city's going to pick up a 4-foot by 4-foot by 8-foot pile of brush? Well, that's a branch. You know what I mean? Can we burn with a permit?
As he's walking to the podium, I'll tell you, I won't support burning green vegetation because it is going to be, it is really going to cause a public health hazard from my perspective as far as smoke. That's how I've been responding to people that did complain about that. Not to say they won't be able to get a burn permit, but Chief, fire away.
So we've had several people call down to the station, and all I've instructed them to do is call us back during burning season after that debris has died and is not going to create that smoke. Especially with the humidity that we've had in the last couple of days, that smoke is just going to settle. So everyone that has called down to the firehouse that I've spoken with, it's been a great conversation, and they've said that they'll wait, and then come burning season, I said I would work with them if they need to burn a larger pile than we would normally have, that we're not going to charge them a burn permit fee and everything, just make us aware of what's going on. And that seemed to have been very receptive.
Yeah, I've had quite a few questions myself.
Yeah,
so.
if you want to just have them call me down to the firehouse, I mean, we're working with the community the best we can, and it's been very cooperative so far.
Okay. Thank you. I got one last little thing here. It has to do with bureaucracy a little bit. Does anybody? There's not a lot of people left in the room, but does anybody know the suicide telephone number in here? Does anybody? The answer is exactly that, no. I used to bitch about it because you had to spell out abuse or you had to spell out suicide.
It's all right, get through it.
I think the bureaucrats have made so many changes that nobody knows what's going on. And one of the fears that I have is, let's just say everybody knew the number. There is a law on the books that says if you have intention of hurting yourself, that they can put you in some sort of a lockdown for up to 72 hours. And I was wondering if that includes this line also, because a lot of the other lines did not. Anytime there's public money involved, I think it's probably mandatory that they do. And so I just want us to think about, sometimes when we try to make things better, we make it worse. I'm done.
Well, to your question, both chiefs are here. I'm just curious, either of you guys know, as far as what he's trying to explain? Either one of you want to come up and,
You mean if there's a lockdown, Mayor?
yeah.
I'll let Bobby.
So as far as all the hotline numbers that I go or that are out there, I can speak just on the fire department side of stuff. We don't ever get called directly from dispatch. They will never dispatch us, hey, the hotline service called into dispatch and said that, 800 Ridge Road had called any number, whether that's abuse, suicide, any type of mental health. We only respond if it's a direct call from the homeowner, someone residing with the patient at that time. So I believe they are still all anonymous as far as I am aware of.
I do know that the state, and maybe several states have it's like a 411 number or a 911 or something.
988.
And and it's just, everybody should know this, is I guess my point. And everybody should know what the ramifications are if you do and or you don't call. There is no, because I do know the walks are coming up and all this kind of stuff for the suicide stuff and the fundraisers, but what do they do with all the money? They don't inform me.
So I'm under the impression that they are all anonymous and that if you call any of those agencies, we're never made aware of that. We don't get called even after the fact that, hey, we took a call from this address. It's truly anonymous as far as I know.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Chief's right. From the time that I first started in EMS, whether it be suicide or some other type of mental health emergency, ERS used to be extremely quick, receptive. We got to know them. I mean, I could tell you who the ERS people were, both in Peoria and Tazewell County. And over time, that it's become less and less and less. ERS workers that were there were different each time. And it's not against them. It goes back to the day when, if you remember, like the Zeller was closed. Illinois has, in some ways, turned its back on mental health, and for funding reasons. And I mean, obviously, I can't tell you where we should have the money from, but when people are struggling like that, there should be some easy place for them to go to get help, and it became harder and harder over the years. So I understand Commissioner Sutherland and the point that he's making, and it is sad. I know that there is an effort now to make ERS stronger, and hopefully that is helpful. I fear that with some of the changes that they've made, that ERS workers might be actually put into situations of danger because of our cops in East Peoria are awesome, but there's this effort that we see, whether it be across the state or across the nation, to take them out of the picture. And I've seen big, huge, strong people on the police department be very soft and excellent help for people that need it. So, Commissioner Sutherland, I think the point you're trying to make is, and I agree with totally, man, I wish that our state and our government would focus on this and trying to make a real difference instead of just coming up with a solution that might get them votes and talking few seconds on the air and try to affect real change.
Yeah, well said. Anything else, Commissioner?
Nope, I'm done.
Thank you. Commissioner Means?
Just one quick thing, Your Honor. Car seat checks will be August 7th from 1 to 4 down the street here at Central House. If anybody wants to get their car seat checked or a new car seat put in, the fire department will do that for you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Anything else?
Nope,
No?
that's it.
All right. The only thing I'd like to bring up, since the governor likes to celebrate his big win that the General Assembly gave him on eliminating the Illinois grocery tax. Let's talk about that, because this is what the media is not talking about, is the fact that he just eliminated, put a feather in his cap as though he's the good guy, and he's going to put money back in your pocket. That wasn't his money to put back in your pocket. That was local government's money to put back in your pocket. Back in 1990, the state went through a huge sales tax reform, and the General Assembly in place at the time eliminated many sales taxes to include a local municipality's ability to implement its own grocery tax. So there was a deal struck, a compromise that nobody wants to talk about, including the governor, because he was looking for an easy win to talk about what he's doing for you versus what he's not doing for you, which Illinois doesn't have a revenue problem, they got a spending problem. And as he continues to spend more and more of our money, taxpayer money, on illegal immigrants and things that don't impact everybody, hardworking, tax-paying citizens' lives, I'm going to go there with this because this one really irritates the piss out of me, to be honest with you, because is what they basically have done is eliminated a 1% grocery tax that was never the state's money. The Illinois Department of Revenue collects it and then distributes it back after they keep a fee for administering that, okay? So they've eliminated that, but part of what they have done is so they don't look bad on breaking the deal that they made back in 1990 with local governments is they've left it up to local governments like ourselves to say, if you want that tax back, guess what? You're going to be the bad guy and you're going to go and you're going to implement that tax on your own. But guess what? The state still facilitates it and the state still gets that fee. So guess what's going to happen? I guarantee you about every local government has little choice because that's part of their revenue, that's part of their budget to impose that 1% tax. And I'm going to be bringing back to this council prior to the deadline. We have time. We'll be doing this sometime probably before this year ends or the next year. I'm working with Scott on the timeline of it, Scott and Morgan. But listen, that's I don't have a specific dollar amount. It's a substantial chunk of change for the city of East Peoria. And I'm glad the governor got his win, but it's just another example of how this state, the people in Springfield, the majority in Springfield, continually knock the knees out from underneath local government as though they know what's best for everybody. And understand, folks, I've said this a million times. State and federal government, they have layers of insulation between those representatives and the people that elect them. We don't. We answer directly to the people. We answer to the 84-year-old lady that was here complaining about her carport and, you know, issues she has with code enforcement and her neighbors and whatnot. And I appreciate the fact that we do that. I think every elected person should have to respond directly to the people that elected them. However, Illinois, for some reason, we're going down this path where more and more you got to watch almost every single bill going through Springfield because they're trying their damnedest to take away absolutely every authority any local government has, you know, within its jurisdiction. And this is one perfect example of that. But I'm just giving the council and the public a heads up. I'll be bringing back what I feel is the right thing, which that is part of our revenue source. And if the council elects not to impose that 1% tax, then that's the will of the council. But I certainly don't appreciate the governor of Illinois to stand in front of any press as though he's looking out for his people. He's doing anything but that. So it's my thoughts for the day, and I'll stop there before my blood pressure.
Mayor, I know that we have a deadline of when we can impose it, I believe. When does it take effect to stop coming to, or to stop being imposed by the state?
January 1st of 2026.
Okay.
So we have time, but is what people don't understand with sales tax, you gotta back up a little bit. You have a certain deadline. Let's say you want to impose it beginning January 1 of 2026. I think we have to have everything submitted and approved. Kate? October of 2025. So we've got some time, but I just, you know, he's out making this victory lap with our money, which is just great of him. Not surprising, just personally, but anyway, I'll I'll stop there, but I just wanted to give you
Okay.
guys a heads up.
You know, that difference can make our community less competitive as well, because as you know, when you start raising sales tax, period,
Yeah.
your community, you know, we're sensitive to that today, because what does Peoria charge? What are the other communities? So when you start messing with sales tax, people may go to other communities to avoid, because you've got, you know, in this case, it's only 1%, but 1% is,
And it's very specific on
Yeah.
certain grocery
So-
items and whatnot too, so. But at the end of the day, when you look at everything that we've made, our investment in here, bringing all these retailers, for example, Costco, Walmart, Target, they sell above and beyond grocery items. So when the media reaches out and say, well, what's that dollar amount? Some municipality, just so you guys understand, we don't know the exact dollar amount. It's hard to separate that out because it's specific to certain grocery items.
It's in the seven figures, I would bet.
Yeah.
but
Well,
you know, with that
well-
being said, you know, what do we have in front of us? Alternate revenue source paying off our bonds. And so
Yeah, exactly.
it's
But
not-
anyway, yeah, just for what it's worth, I thought I'd share it
I know
since it's
small
all over the
village
media that
In
he's
Peoria,
a
it's
hero.
over
so-
300,000, so it only
Yeah.
stands to reason what ours is.
Yeah, it's substantial. So, anyway, other than that, this Thursday, we'll be host city to a couple of distinguished guests, the Consulate General, the Consulate of Canada and the Consulate of Mexico, both will be here for a roundtable and then a luncheon on Thursday at the Paradise. And, you know, both those countries are, you know, pretty important trade partners, especially with Central Illinois, between our industry and our agriculture. So I'm kind of looking forward to those discussions, and hopefully we're a good host and they have a great experience while they're here. So other than that, I would seek a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn until Tuesday evening, August 20th, 2024, at 6 p.m.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. We're adjourned until we meet again.